It is super cool. When was the last time you were stuck in your car in the middle of a traffic jam and didn't wish you were in a helicopter instead?
We call it a rotor fix. Well, you get the rotor turning and you get a little fix.
Rotor fix, freedom of movement, the ability to lift straight into the sky and fly to places that most people simply can't even imagine. That's just part of the appeal of the helicopter.
This looks like a toy, but in the not too distant future, many military missions and dangerous search and rescue missions will be flown by remote controlled helicopters. Of course, I won't be flying them because I don't know how to fly them.
Models are cool, but even better than flying a model, I'm gonna learn how to fly a real helicopter. I can't wait. Well, actually, I could probably wait a while before I did that. The helicopter is one of man's most complex flying machines. Its design was inspired by nature. Being able to take off and land like a hummingbird has been a dream of man for thousands of years. Well, not necessarily this man, but I hear people talking. Our modern version of rotary aviation was created over 70 years ago, but the idea has been around a lot longer. The Chinese were among the first to develop the idea of rotary wing flight in the 4th century AD, but it would take another 1,600 years before it was perfected. Two tiny little problems to overcome: generating lift and steering.
So Marco, I want to fly a helicopter.
You want to fly a helicopter?
I want to fly it badly. Ciao.
Yeah, a real helicopter.
Moving it.
Marco, my instructor, is going to teach me how to fly this baby.
It's very smooth, huh?
To keep it simple, we have 4 main controls: pedals, cyclic, collective, throttle. What the cyclic will do, it will tilt the disc. Pitch, nose up and nose down, and roll. So this is going to be pitch, and roll is going to be laterally.
Okay.
Okay.
And is it like, is this, it's left is left, right is right, down when I go down?
Increasing
Sounds
or,
like I broke something back
or
there.
decreasing the amount of lift.
Did something break?
In a typical helicopter, you have 2 sets of rotors. The rotor on the top produces lift as it spins and cuts the air. The problem is that rotor generates torque that wants to pull the helicopter to the side. That's where the tail rotor comes in. It works like a small propeller to pull against the torque reaction, and it holds the helicopter straight. By tilting the rotor disc down frontally, it creates forward motion. Tilt backwards, and you get reverse motion. To go up and down, the pitch is adjusted equally.
There's a big misconception about helicopters in that if our engine fails, we fall out of the sky like a rock, which is not true. We can actually glide the helicopter because we actually will stop our forward airspeed prior to touching down.
Ah yes, so with auto rotation, basically you take the engine offline, give the blade negative pitch, land on the ground without using power. In other words, you turn the engine off and fall out of the sky. Great.
And don't forget that in order to get your license, you have to show proficiency in auto rotation. So it's mandatory that we do auto rotations, and we will do actually quite a few of them. And you'll learn to enjoy them.
Capable of pushing 3-dimensional space to its extreme, they are the ultimate access machines. Over the last 50 years, helicopters have increased their top speed from 150 to over 400 kilometers per hour, and their lifting capacity from 100 to 40,000 kilograms. They can save lives, they can take lives, and they can help sustain lives. Translating a design that occurs easily in nature into man-made machines took hundreds of years of experimentation. In the 20th century, man had both the knowledge and the technology to make it happen. Things finally took off for the helicopter thanks almost entirely to one man, a Russian named Igor Sikorsky, whose designs for the US military from the 1930s are still flying today. With so many miles of wilderness, Canada is one of the world's biggest markets for helicopters. They give us access to our big old natural landscape. Eurocopter Canada manufactures and assembles a wide range of machines from civil to military helicopters.
I'm Gary Krebs, one of 4 pilots at the Eurocopter Canada. I've been flying helicopters for 24 years. You get to the point of flying these things, and really the aircraft is kind of a mind meld. The aircraft just ends up being where you want it to be. It sure beats doing a real job.
There are over 40,000 parts and a mile of electronic wires that will go into the making of this helicopter. A special carbon fiber skin is used because of its lightweight and durability. It's then cut with digital precision to conform to the shape of the helicopter. Heat is a key factor in melding all the layers of the strong light skin materials together. This compositing technique makes the carbon skin so strong that it's even used in parts of the helicopter's structure. The electronic wiring is woven into the cockpit, then runs throughout the helicopter. Various components like the cockpit are tested with AutoCAD for aerodynamics. The rotor engines are tested at the same flight RPMs as an actual flight. The rotor wings and the tail rotor are checked for damage. The shell is sanded, painted, and assembled.
This is the Eurocopter AS350 B2. When I started flying, this aircraft was just introduced into North America. Many product improvements since then. You know, a lot more horsepower, a lot more lift. And here's the real thing. It's actually winding up the elastic band.
Okay, this here is a reconfigurable flight simulator in Downsview, Toronto.
That's cool. Whoa, what was that? What's going on? All right.
They use this technology to train pilots for the Canadian military to do some of the most hazardous tasks of helicopter flying. In this case, I'm joining a flight team who will be simulating the landing of a Sea King helicopter. And we're going to pretend that the Sea King is landing on a pitching ship in the North Atlantic. It's very precise and dangerous work. This is Gord, or whatever his name was.
All right, Declan. There we go! Oh, sorry. Sorry for everyone on the intercom. Wow, I'm okay.
One of the main advantages of this simulator is that it provides stereoscopic views to judge distance so the pilots can practice various failure situations safely.
Dude, what's that?
When I woke up this morning, I never thought that I'd be flying a Sea King in rough seas today. And frankly, it makes me a little queasy.
Oh yeah, this is,
I'm also regretting not wearing depends.
Signals. Oh, we're down. That's smooth, Chris. Good job. I did my tongue.
name is Captain Terry Wong, and I'm with 400 Tactical Helicopter Squadron here in Borden, Ontario. When Neil Armstrong first landed on the moon, and I watched that as a child, I thought, wow, I want to do something like that with my future.
Captain Terry Wong is taking his flight test to qualify as a first officer pilot.
This is a Griffin helicopter, CH-146 Canadian designation Griffin helicopter. It can take up to 13 people, or it can be used with a medical staff on board as well. People have asked, why fly a helicopter? Why does a dancer, instead of ballet, learn tap? Why does a piano player, instead of classical, learn jazz? Flying is like an art. It's music. And whether you learn to fly a helicopter, or you learn to fly a transport plane, or you learn to fly a jet, you're still flying. It's a beautiful thing.
Weather is good. Forecast is 14 to 18 zulu.
Terry's given his flight instructions. His mission, should he choose to accept it, land his helicopter in a confined space and then return to base.
Those missions where you help people, you actually make a difference. I think those are the ones that are going to be the most satisfying.
Okay.
You can either live cautiously for the rest of your life, or you can get out there and do something. To be able to bring the aircraft back home or land it safely, I think that is the biggest thing that they train you for. The brave may not live forever, but the cautious don't live at all.
The mission is a success. Sure, I may not be as brave as Terry and the crew of the Griffin, but frighteningly, I have been given the controls of a helicopter for my first flying mission. Well, here goes nothing.
Now what I want you to do is I want you to bring your feet on the pedals so you have control of pedals only. And all I want you to do is apply left pedal just slowly until I say stop. You have control of cyclic only.
I have control of cyclic only. Oh my God. This is probably a day I'll be remembering for a while, man. You know, I kind of do feel like a hummingbird. And this does beat being stuck in a traffic jam. Not my first time. The first time anyone's ever been foolish enough to let me take the controls of a helicopter. Shiza. The S-76 Air Ambulance operates out of the Toronto Island Paramedics Unit. They fly all of southern Ontario through hot summers and cold winter landscapes. I mean, these guys get into situations and places I can only imagine. They frequently have to land in remote, hard-to-get areas from cottage docks to car-congested highways. Their job is to get the medics and the patients where they need to go. Pilots do not get medical information about their passengers. They are only concerned with the technical aspects of flying.
I'm Mike Chad. I'm a critical care flight medic. I'm employed with Canadian Helicopters down here at the Toronto base. Bottom line is we move patients, we move sick people. The sick people can be either from a scene call, so a bad car accident. It might involve doing medical calls. Mrs. Jones starts having chest pain and she's in a more rural area, and either we're faster getting there than the land ambulance. They don't want to deplete their land resources because some of the more rural areas have very limited resources, or the level of care we can provide is better for them.
As you can imagine, when the call goes out for an air ambulance, speed is of the essence.
It's very gratifying when you think you've certainly helped to save someone's life from involved in an accident, get them to the hospital in a hurry.
With over 50 years flying experience, helicopter pilot John Schultz has seen virtually the whole history of the growth of the modern helicopter.
The avionics now and the technology is just, well, it's the way of computers. You know, it changes so rapidly, but no, I had envisioned none of this. Back then, 50 years ago, never. On this job, in a high wind, if you land on the rooftops downtown Toronto at the hospitals, you have to be very careful with the wind. It can get pretty tricky with the tall buildings and the CN Tower. The taller the buildings get, the more exciting it gets at times, so one has to watch themselves.
Air ambulances operate with a rotating crew of 4, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they handle over 14,000 patients a year. They can sometimes get a patient to the helipad at a hospital in 5 minutes.
The care we offer is equivalent to what you would find in an intensive care unit in terms of what we can do.
The paramedics get another call.
Okay, but we're still on standby for now.
That's very unusual, isn't it?
Okay, well, when they call, you snag that one.
And head off across the city into the night.
You're looking out the window, looking at the sights, you know, nothing. People pay big bucks to see that sort of thing, and I get to see it almost on a daily basis. Flying up over the south end of Georgian Bay through all the islands and stuff is really quite spectacular. Really makes you appreciate what you have.
You ever wish you could just land a helicopter in your buddy's backyard for a visit? Well, meet Gilbert the farmer and Brent the mechanic and Lamborghini dealer. They build their own helicopters, and here's the kicker. They actually fly them. They call themselves the homemade guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Brent. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Going flying? Seems like a good day for it.
Yeah, it looks real nice.
Of course, we're going to go flying with them around Gilbert's farm near Paris, Ontario, today.
So how's the airplane?
That's working pretty good. This one's a Starduster 2. Yeah, it's about 3 years of work, and you know, well, I fly helicopters now, and it's nothing like a helicopter. If you've got a favorite fishing spot, you know, you just set it down right there. Nobody's going to get to you. You know, you can land in your neighbor's backyard, have a beer or something. You know.
The problem is with the high-end cars is, you know, the police follow you. You can't speed. There's limits. This thing, you can go as fast as you can possibly make it go. I always joke around my wife that I'm going to build a submarine next.
Good one, Brent. I'm sure the missus loved that one too. And for the record, I would never fly in something that I built. But that's just me.
When you did put it together yourself, if there's a problem with it, you can fix it.
Not when you're flying, you can't.
It doesn't hurt to be mechanically inclined. I mean, a carpenter is, well, he works with wood. It's not going to help him here with moving parts and steel and bearings. Sure, a helicopter is just a lot of things to look after.
I like going up in the air with my dad. We get to go places and see people and stuff. I helped them build it a little bit, all the stuff that took 2 people and stuff.
It's a way to make an entrance, so it's a lot of fun.
Do you like going up with Dad?
Yeah.
She's gone up too.
Even when helicopters are this much fun, sometimes things go wrong.
We were just going for a ride. We were actually on our way home, and I guess the engine blew. I saw some smoke coming out the back and told my dad, so he had to make an emergency landing.
Yeah, the engine just blew right there. Just blew, and I'll tell you that's pretty scary, you know. I mean, it's one thing to practice it, but it's another thing when the actual engine does let go and the helicopter's shaking there for a few seconds and, holy, this is the real thing. And sure, well, you got to be alive, you know, you're really awake after that. You know, you're...
Yeah, it's almost like he's a cat, I'm telling you, because he's had some bad ones, but 2 with the plane, 2 with the helicopter, so you're down to 5 lives.
You just know what you have to do, and there's a little bit of room for error. So.
The homemade guys made engine failure seem like, well, fun. And that brings us back to auto rotation. So I was really hoping we could do this whole cut the engine auto rotation thing on the ground.